Starting to the top left of the map for Axiom-Acer, the second Terran player that they send out today in game number 3 of the GSTL match. We have
Axiom Heart.
Heart only gets one introduction here.
Yep. They fixed the bug.
That was not a bug, that was a feature, Wolf.
Ah, okay.
Bottom right for Team FXO, the only player that they had to rely on today. It is
FXOSC.
And guys, with the performance that we've seen today from SC, you might wonder, is this guy code A, is he code S? Where actually is he now in the individual league? And I must tell you that he is currently still in code B. He participated in the code A qualifier, but was taken out by Yu-Gi-Oh! In the semifinal. Yu-Gi-Oh!, the player for Root Gaming, then advanced to take out Harrier in the finals and grab this code A spot. So yeah, SC was not able to clinch out a victory, only won one map against the Zerg player from Root Gaming.
You can see SC is currently 2-0 against Axiom-Acer. The stats, if you guys didn't know that already. And you can see the win rates, of course, in TVT for both players. This, of course, includes Wings of Liberty statistics.
I actually don't like that.
I don't like that either. I think that will have to be fixed one day.
I think at some point, maybe after the first season, they will probably change it up a little bit. But right now, there is so little data available that it kind of still makes a bit of sense to include the Wings of Liberty statistics for the players. But I feel after a season or two, we'll probably have statistics that solely show how the players performed in Heart of the Swarm.
I absolutely agree. That's something that you know, has to be released slowly, I guess. You can't just jump in there and everyone's got 0-0 on everything, because that's not true.
Exactly. You at least have a little bit of an indicator of how good a player was in the matchups in Wings of Liberty, which still plays a bit of a role. But of course, if you want to rely on hard facts, then later on you will have to rely on the Heart of the Swarm statistics only.
So talking about the builds we've seen here, both players with almost identical gas timings. That was a really smart choice by Hart, by the way. He saw that the depots when we placed and decided to get out instead of being trapped inside.
Exactly. He would have been trapped inside, lost the SCV, but he decided that he knows everything that he needs to know.
And so both players are going to start their factories at the exact same time. And everybody's wondering now, though, what builds are we going to see? Is it going to be a safe factory play, you know, into a Viking and then just take a command center, or are we going to see drops? And if we see drops from both players, things could get pretty out of hand.
Oh yeah, both players actually play with drop plays. That is something that is really, really interesting to watch. You have to have so much multitasking in order to pull this off successfully. Defending on the one hand, and on the other hand, always focusing on your attack as well to do a maximum amount of damage.
And it looks like SC is going for Reactor Hellions first, whereas we see a more normal just second gas and no Reactor going down for Hart, who's just continuing Marine production right now.
No, it would actually be really amazing if SC is able to get another win here. Even an all-kill is not out of the question, seeing how well he performs today. But for Axiom-Acer, it's important to not only just win a few maps. That's the important part here. I feel at this point, a lot of the players actually look at the situation in the team match and are like, well, is it really likely that one of us is going to take out SC, Gumiho, and Lenok? That's something that is really getting very, very unlikely. Right now we have a very good scan, though, for Hart, who sees that there's no second base.
Yeah, but he does not know about the crazy build that SC is doing. He's going into Widow Mines, and he's also getting the Armory, so he's going to be doing that Hellbat drop we talked about.
But what he does know is that the barracks was actually lifted, so he knows that something is up here, that something is being hidden from him.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a drop that has... He can do this several ways. He can do 2 drops full of double Hellbat, which is what we've seen in the past. You can also put, you know, for example, 1 Hellbat and 2 Widow Mines in another one of the drops. There's so many different ways you can do this, and he's facing Cloak Banshee, though. Yeah,
he's facing Cloak Banshee, and he's also facing Widow Mines. So the Widow Mines could be set up here as a good defense against the drop play. As mentioned in the Terran versus Terran that we had first today, where MMA was playing for Axiom-Acer, you cannot take down a Medivac with a single Widow Mine. You need something else to do damage. Either you have a Viking there in position to finish the Medivac off, or you need to get the SCVs in the position. Did you actually see the SCV dance here?
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
Look to the left side, guys. SCV,
he was freed. Well, he's actually going into now 6 Hellbats, so you could actually follow this up. A lot of the time you see a player bring a Viking with the drop, you know, rally 1 Medivac and 1 Viking out afterwards to help defend the Medivac and also to land and add some extra DPS. There's no Widow Mines defensively set up at the right location for SC. He's got one at his natural, but he doesn't have it where he needs to have it. Oh, if he sees us with the Banshee, though, that would be so huge. Will he see
It's going to be close, and yes, he knows. He's seen it. He's seen that something is coming. Can he defend against it? The same question, of course, also goes for his opponent, but there is a double Widow Mine already in position.
This is so smart by SC. He keeps the Widow Mines at home for any sort of defense he's going to need, and he goes for the attack. This is going to be, I feel, a much better position for SCU. Now goes for the double drop. He can actually just fight these Marines straight up. He boosts on top of him and says, "Come to me, Marines!"
And here comes the Banshee attacking the supply depot. Here is the double drop, though. 4 Hellbats in the main base, and they toast everything. The Siege Tank might be able to do something about it. The Banshee moves in with a cloak, completely ignored by the Widow Mines.
Yep, really great micro here by SC, picking up the weakened Hellbats. The Siege Tank is really the big problem for him. And there's no turrets. He needs a scan. He has a scan saved with those Vikings.
Double Vikings. That's all that he needs. The Vikings and a scan. That's exactly what happens. Hart is in trouble.
Hart loses the Banshee, and the Hellbats are back in the mineral line. He can just pick them up again, avoiding the Banshee shots, avoiding the Siege Tank, and he's done so much damage right now.
There is no anti-air.
Oh, he's going to jump right on top of them. He's waiting. He's hesitating.
Oh,
the Hellbats are on so low hit points, so that's why he didn't drop them. He knows they'd be targeted down very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they are on low hit points, but I feel it would maybe have been worth it here. If you look at the game right now, we have both of them on a 25 Harvester supply. The Command Center account is better for the player in red, though, for Hart. He has the additional base.
Yeah, he does, and he's making it into an orbital now. The threat of the Hellbats is still out there, though. He's going to have to keep it in his main base for a while, and also the next attack is going to be much deadlier because he has Vikings this time. You know what I was talking about before? You can actually bring the Vikings and actually drop them and fight the Siege Tanks.
Yeah, it's not only the Vikings, he's moving in with additional Hellbats too. So this is really an attack that is designed to do as much damage as possible. He knows that Hart has another command center, so he knows he has to do some damage.
The Vikings are on patrol. They're attacking, or they're getting ready to. He scouts them out, and it looks like he's just going to boost in here. The rest of the Hellbats, though, a bit lagging behind. He needs to get those over there.
And here we go. The Vikings are already there. Here come the Hellbats. The Siege Tanks are sieging up. The Hellbats trying to do their damage, and the Vikings are landing in assault mode.
The Vikings land, but the Widow Mine's doing a great defense here so far, and it looks like this has been totally shut down.
Yeah. Hart is still a little bit behind in overall supply, but that was definitely a good move here. Good defense. He is still the one with the additional orbital command, but SC is catching up.
SC is catching up indeed, and he's adding additional factories. So it looks like he wants to go into mech from here.
Yep, double factory going down for SC. We will see mech from him, also adding the Raven here, really important with mech. You also want to have the point defense drone, and he can use the Seeker missile if need be.
And plus, he knows his opponent has Cloak Banshees, so it's going to be even further fold useful. Yep. And there's the lift. So SC will actually have his command center down first.
And here comes the Cloak Banshee moving in. Not Cloak just yet. Double Widow Mine on the other hand, and he is moving right into the Widow Mines with the Banshee.
Yeah, it depends on if he cloaks first or not. Whether it gets killed. A scan, of course, will put an end to that, and barely scan or cloaks just in time.
Yeah, just in time, but the Raven should be ready. There it is.
He needs to rally that over. I guess he didn't see it because it is invisible.
He didn't spot it. And now at least a few of the SCVs are gonna fight with us. There we go. One. It only kills 2. That was not worth it.
Yep, I'm very unfortunate. But he sees very importantly, though, that his opponent's going for mech. So if you think about that scout that he got with it, it ends up being, I guess, an okay trade for him. Because now he's able to prepare exactly what he's facing.
The funny thing actually is that we have the mineral line saturated first for SC, who built the command center a lot later. And he's in a position now where he's also had an overall supply, so SC once again in this game really making an impression.
Yeah. Oh man, SC is such an incredible player. So we have now a few Hellions coming up with a Hellbat drop in the back. So if he unsieges and goes into the main to deal with the drop, the Hellions are going to run in. Vikings come in as well to escort the drop. There's 2 drops, one on the left, one on the right, the same drops from before. One
of the best things actually was when those drop ships earlier just loaded the Vikings up to bring them to safety. That was awesome. I didn't see... That might actually have been the first time that I actually have seen a Viking in a medevac.
But it happens like once in a blue moon.
Yeah, he actually saved one of the Vikings doing this. But now he's just trying to find another opening to go for the next drop play. And look how well he spots this. If he drops on top of the medevac, of the siege tank, he could pull it off.
Uh-oh, he's going to have to drop these helmets out though!
Too late. Bam. Bye-bye. And here comes the drop. needs to hightail it out of there. The Medivac has suffered too much damage.
Yeah, he hit the Widow Mine on it. And this still caused a lot of mining time loss, though, for Hart. And look at SC's supply. He's just taken that huge lead in supply block right now, is Hart. So he's having some trouble here, for sure. SC may be getting into his head a little bit. And SC, remember, is building a very expensive, very strong composition. And he's been left alone for a really long time.
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants at the bottom right now, and we have Hart now going into another base while he's moving out, but he has to face another attack. I think those Vikings might actually just go for the assault mode at some point. There is still the Widow Mine in position that damaged the Viking earlier, but still, he is being threatened with all those Vikings still hovering in the area. Ah, and there we go.
Oh, he could have targeted down that one, and he does. That's exactly what he needs to do to get the best trade out of that Viking.
Yeah. He gets the trade, but of course it was better for SC in the end. Third base, this is what Hart wants to set up right now.
Yeah, Hart needs to make sure that he...
Oh, wow, here we have the SCV pull. Hart is going for the third base, trying to drop his opponent, but SC, he decides to be aggressive. He pulls the SCVs and moves in with his mech army.
This is a 30 supply army lead that we see here, and those two drops are two drops just full units that are not going to be there to defend. Oh, this is so tense right now. He's going up. He sees it now. He needs to siege up as soon as possible.
There comes the scan. SC knows exactly what's going on right now.
He needs to put his SCVs up front. He just runs up. He charges in.
Runs up. The siege tanks are there doing a lot of damage, but SC has such a huge army.
The Vikings land here. The SCVs going down, but the Hellbats are at the front. The tank against them. They're dropping so fast.
This is way too much. We have the drop at the bottom right. Maybe he can do something with those units, but the big problem here for Hart is that the army of SC is marching into his main base and taking down everything.
Everything that spawns is dying for both players right now, but the army is still so much better for SC. He needs to, if he can, make some Widow Mines at home. Yeah. He's also starting to run his SCVs away so he can make buildings. And we have all the Vikings, I believe, died. Let me check.
The Axiom-Acer player is microing his heart out, trying to stay alive, taking down the command center at the bottom right. We have a bit of a base trade, but right now, things are looking very grim for Hart as he drops to 20 supply against 100.
And 2 Vikings at a time still being produced. He has already now 6 of them. So there's no way for him to fly the buildings away and hope for a draw. The Vikings are already out and they will kill the bases that are running away right now. I don't see any way for Hart to actually win this.
This has to be game. At this point, we have him down to 18 supply against 98. It looks like SC is just simply unstoppable today.
Yeah, and Hart can't build a starport. That's the only starport he has, and it's just going to be killed right now. Yep. And then once that's dead, he can't make anything that can kill the barracks that's flying, so there's no way for Hart to win. I guess he can hope for a draw, but it looks very unlikely at this point, considering the army supply right now is 17 for Hart to 72 for SC.
That's just way too much. Look at the army that Hart has. 9 Marines, 2 Marauders, and 2 Medivacs. This is not what you need against such a huge army. The Medivacs will die instantly when they face the Vikings, and this is just an unwinnable position. Hart has another base, but it's already been spotted, and now he's going to lose the command center.
The only base he has left is the one at the bottom left, and he just wants to keep that starport alive, because with the starport he can make 1 Viking. But the thing is, if that Viking is spotted, it's just going to be killed. And SC has units on the ground. He can land his barracks. I mean, there's no way he can win this game, but he's trying hard, that's for sure.
There's another command center at the bottom of the map for the Axiom-Acer player, but this does not look good. We will see the GG in just a few seconds. There is just too much going on right now. There's no way for Hart to take this game.
Absolutely not. This is... I mean, he even has the starport followed by a factory, so it cannot escape. There's no way... The only thing he has to do now is find the command center at the bottom left, and with his building scouting, he should find it relatively soon.
That is the StarCrit version of Where's Waldo, just trying to find the command center at the bottom of the map. That's all that he has to do here.
Yeah, I love that game, by the way.
That's great.
Oh, wow, look at that. GG. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
This is it, and now we suddenly have FXOpen up 3-0 against Axiom-Acer. SC is on fire.
Yeah, someone get a fire extinguisher or a bucket of water. He needs it. This is everything FXOpen could have hoped for so far, and they just have to beat one more player. Hart, you know, played a great game.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be Rian.
It looks like it, man.
Might be Alicia. They are talking to each other right now. But look at SC. He's hungry. He wants the all kill.
SC pulled a Hart with his build, basically. And Hart defended it actually relatively well, but he lost so much mining time. And then SC was able to sit back and relax and build a 2-base mech composition that he moved across the map and just ended it with.
SC playing so impressive today. He is one game away from achieving an all-kill. That would be the 4th Terran all-kill that we have in the GSTL. We had 4 all-kills so far, 3 of them achieved by Terran players, 1 by a Protoss player, and SC might be the 4th Terran to pull one off.
Killing several Terrans as well.
Yeah.
And our likely 4th player is going to be, I think, Ryung. I mean, we saw him stand up and talking. For me, Ryung is the best Terran versus Terran player they have. Or the best player they have to kill a Terran. But that's just step 1. And then step 2 is Hurricane probably, maybe you see a Gumiho, and then finally a Lennox. So Ryung has the ability to beat all these players, but it's certainly going to be a tough road.
And also, if Ryung is actually being sent out right now, this means that we didn't have, so far, a single Protoss player just yet.
Yeah, none at all.
Yeah. So I'm actually
that poor kid in the crowd.
Exactly, the poor kid in the crowd.
He's like, oh!
It's like, what? No Protoss? What happened? Well, I guess the lineup for both players, when you look at Protoss, is not too deep when you look at the big names, but still. We had a lot of Terrans today, we had a few Zergs. Who's going to be the last player for Axiom-Acer? Is it really going to be Ryung, or is he just trying to just talk to Alicia and give him a few ideas of what he could do against a player like SC, who certainly seems to be undefeatable today?
Ryung has more experience, and I think that even though Alicia would have been my choice for a 3rd player, got to close with Ryung for me. He's closed for Slayers so many times, and he has the most experience in the booth, probably out of anyone on that team, maybe besides MMA. And MMA is already out. I think Ryung is the guy you got to call on right now.
I don't think you really want to send out Scarlet in this position, especially since she has problems with her wrist. Then you only have a few players left on the team bench that you could send out, Ryung, and on the other hand, Alicia, the 2 that everyone is looking to.
And Crank as well is there, but he's not the closer that you're looking for.
Exactly. I can see Crank take down SC if he has the map choice and he has a cool build, but I cannot really see him take down
Gumiho or Lennox later on, or perhaps even Hurricane when he comes out for Protoss versus Protoss.
To me, Crank in this situation is more like the sniper, but Ryung definitely has a lot more experience as being the closer, as you already said. So we might see another Terran versus Terran, which gives SC the chance to dominate in another mirror match. He could actually pull it off. If he wins 3 Terran versus Terrans in one single team match, that would be really impressive.
Yeah, he could very well do it.
Yep.
And we don't know who the next player is going to be just yet. Looks like a little bit of deliberation. You can see Scarlet behind us is the focus of the camera here. And SC, man. SC is unstoppable today, it looks like. I'm actually just so proud of this kid for being able to make the right choice, come back to StarCraft 2, and still play incredibly well in a new expansion using new tactics and also some of his old tactics as well. Looks unbeatable right now.
Yep, he definitely does.
Ryung has to come out to snipe him. That's my thoughts on this.
Well, we're going to find out right now. The Korean casters are ready, and we definitely are as well. It is Ryung. He is moving towards the booth. It is not Alicia. It is not Crank. It is Ryung. He is the last player for Axiom-Acer. Can he defeat SC?
That's what we're going to find out.
MMA, Hart, and Mia, they all were defeated. And MMA is not happy.
MMA is not happy, but he has to call upon his former teammate and current partner teammate as far as GSTL teams go. This is going to be an epic match. Ryung is such a great Terran versus Terran player. He was called the TVT sniper by people overseas and in Korea alike because of his Terran versus Terran skills. He's come out in GSTL 25 times and has a positive win ratio at 52%.
Ryung definitely a very, very strong player to send out here. And he was already sent out by his team 4 times in this season, and he won 3 of them.
Well, before we see this epic Terran versus Terran, we have a 5-minute break. During this break, tell your friends to tune in because this conclusion is going to be awesome.